Okay, we are Masters Radio, an online music community. We are finding ways to enjoy this and support the master artists who created the soundtracks to our lives. We guarantee that musicians on our platform will benefit from increased exposure, engagement, healthcare, and other benefits, fundraising, and growth opportunities, all empowering them to thrive. Mark, welcome to Masters Radio. It is an honor to have you in our community. You've been with Nothing More since the very beginning, like 2003, I think. Um, Looking back, how does it feel to see how far the band has come from those early days? And I think you're in Texas. That sounds like Texas anyway, to now being a multi-Grammy nominated act.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it, Adam. Yeah, happy to be here. Yeah, 20 years in is a long time. It is, those were in the high school days for sure. And before, we ever played outside of our own city and we were just in rinky dink clubs here and there for sure. Come a long way and very blessed and grateful for, I think, all the lessons the time has taught us and taught me personally. Um, yeah, it feels crazy. It feels good. Again, yeah, just grateful for all the accolades and things, and hearing how songs have helped people through hard times. Albums have been there for those that need it. At the end of the day, our first ever record was called Shelter, and we wanted our music to be a shelter, a refuge to those in need, because we know and knew at the time how much bands and lyrics and songs helped us. So it's just a way of paying it forward and giving back too.
Excellent. Well, and congratulations on the latest version, that latest album, Carnal. Um, it's been getting amazing feedback. It's even delivered, I think, three top singles now. We're playing If It Doesn't Hurt right now on our stream. We just switched from Free Fall. Um, what was the creative process like for this record? And did collaborating with artists like David Draymond or Chris Daughtry bring any new inspiration or challenges to the band?
Appreciate you spinning that stuff for sure. Thank you so much. Yeah, the process was great. It was really cool. It's again another thing to be stoked about and honored to have guys like David Draymond and Chris Daughtry on our songs. They are powerhouses and legends of their own, musical talents and in their field. So to have them join us is amazing. The process was really cool. Both of these songs that they're on were already written, but they just totally came in and took the songs to another level. One we didn't know that we could reach really. When their voice enters, and it was just such great pairings to hear their voice kind of reach to a new emotional level. I'd say with Chris Daughtry. And with David, it's like that song's so perfect for him. It's kind of like in this march sort of militaristic type of way into a pump up, invigorate, inspiration, and a chant like quality and angel song.
Draymond can make any song sound like a gothic masterpiece. Witness, Sound of Silence. Yeah, it just
Right.
he's so good at doing that with already written songs. And so I was moved by one thing I want to ask you about collaboratively in a sort of odd way. That's Alan Watts I'm hearing in the segues of the record. Tell me about that. What's the significance of that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, Alan Watts has kind of been our philosophical mascot, so to speak, over the last four records. We've definitely been an advocate and fan of his in all of our everyday meditations, if you will, or our own philosophical spiritual growth. Somebody we quote often. And I think we have so many little musical pieces and segues that never make it in songs. So was almost like a way to salvage a lot of those cool things with pairing it with audio clips and lectures of his that would also pair with album themes and lyrical motifs. So he's just been it posthumously an
Yes.
awesome dude that is just his message lives on.
I think you would have appreciated hearing it, from
I
the pit
I could only hope, maybe our music's not hippie enough for him, but I think maybe he'd like the more artistic instrumentals that we've paired him with. We do know, we have to communicate with his estate and his son whenever we're putting these pieces together, and they've been nothing but helpful in all of the process and have been advocates and all in favor. So
Yeah,
it's been cool talking with him.
live on, right? So yeah, I could completely get that. You can see he has YouTube videos and things like that that people are going to go look up because they've heard it on a Nothing More album. So
Right.
speaking, I was really moved by the Free Fall music video and that story of a firefighter finding hope through a rescue dog. Tell me what inspired you to partner with the Canine for Warriors project.
Yeah, yeah, honestly, they're such a cool organization. Um, and we are all about rescue dogs, service dogs, station dogs. We actually learned about them. Johnny had actually had this idea of a dog saving, a first responder or some guy or a veteran that was down on his luck, and like the dog ends up helping him, get back on his feet, and that's where the idea started. And kind of from there, as we were looking for, charities to partner with, that's when we stumbled on them. And it's like, oh man, let's learn more about this. Got to know all the people there and learn how much these dogs help people. Got to go to their headquarters in Jacksonville, and that was great. They house all, these veterans, these first responders, people with mental health issues, as well as constables in their own counties, and with the station dogs too that come in, and they train the dogs there, and they actually pair the specific dog with the owner, and like you stay there for like 3 weeks, make sure it's a good fit and that the whole thing works. And man, there's nothing more special about that connection, that pure innocent love that can come from these dogs. So it's so cool to find an organization I think that everyone can get behind, especially in today's political climate with this. Oh man, speaking of dogs, look at that. Oh,
This is Gabby, who's when we call her Daddy's little princess, and she's my little service dog, but she's a whopping. So she's got some training to do still, but
that's so cool. Yeah, it's really special. I was happy, and they actually have a headquarters in San Antonio too. I still live in San Antonio, where the band's from, Texas. So I got to go out there and meet our constable for our county and see the station dog, and hear how much they've made an impact with all the officers there, changed the vibe amongst all that too, and really just been a positive thing. So we're happy to raise awareness for mental health for the organization, and to hopefully, sponsor a dog or more dogs, and do whatever we can to raise awareness about it.
and you got a history for that. This is nothing new. The song Jenny was so significant with the To Write Love on Her Arms charity. And
Mm.
saying that, tell me a little bit about that and how that is either helped, how you helped them or they helped you.
Yeah, it's been both. I particularly I'm in contact with Chad from Twala or Twalaha. Often we text back and forth constantly, and I'm definitely an advocate for all of their what they stand for, and offer therapy and sources to it, to find it, help through all of that. Because it's a concern, has been a concern, will continue to be a concern. So to make sure those avenues are there, and able to find if you need that help. Jenny was just a song that, is just about Johnny's sister, and so coming from a more personal place, and the things she kind of suffered with, and through the story, you go through it, and with her finding that basically the song's about tough love, um, and kind of raising more awareness kind of for, I don't know, all of that, or these mental health issues exist. And I guess the stigma, just the goal of everything of that, I'm rambling a bit, but the goal of all of it is to, kind of help with the stigma, erase it, and to just make it more normal that we all suffer through these issues. We go to the doctor, if we have a broken arm, or, chest infection, or this and that, upper respiratory. But it's like sometimes we don't get the mental health that we need, and we don't go see somebody when we need it. And that's definitely something we should talk about and figure out how to do as we grow as a civilization and species.
Absolutely true. And the core of tough love is love.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's the
Hmm.
important part. It's good word. It's good word. Um, we talked before about how you innovate using Alan Watts voiceovers along with snippets of your music, but you've got a history of that. The Spirit Test personality quiz, I kind of found interesting. I think it was on your Spirits album. Um, that was kind of a cool way to engage with your fans. That's sort of what we're all about, is finding different ways to get the fans to engage with us, because there aren't record labels around to do that on your behalf anymore. No,
Right. Yeah, it was a cool
workers. Who thought that up, and how does it work for you?
yeah, that actually started from Johnny. And we had these symbols, and kind of, in this world of our band, that we wanted to develop more and dive more into our world. And Spirits already kind of started to be this darker, more conceptual, more progressive album in nature. And it only felt fitting that the artwork would match it. And it, at first, when Johnny approached us, it was like, that's cool, but I'm not sure how a personality test is going to fit in with a band or whatever. So it really just took us a while to figure out how to connect those dots and to make it make sense. Um, and I'm very happy with the product and everything we did. I hope it's been helpful for people. And I don't know, when you get into anything, you get tattoos of it, something that you're so passionate about, or you dive more into it, you invest all this time, this energy, this passion. And I think it was just another level, another chapter of the band that we're kind of able to go further down the rabbit hole and grow our world. And I love that about the Spirits record.
And looking at it, one of the things I see is that you get to see there are people like me. There are people I can see in the various spirit descriptions. I did go through it. I'm going to call myself a free spirit
Hmm,
because I was a mix of fire and water.
gotcha.
For you. But yeah, but yeah, it's a cool way to engage with fans again, and it's a really cool way to sort of add a dimension, the art, and then that the art is actually an interactive thing with the record. I think it's fantastic. Um,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
thank you. Appreciate that.
we just spoke about how the music business is changing. Not a lot of labels doing the kind of support they used to do. Um, from in the rise of streaming, social media, et cetera, how the business has changed. What's impacted you the most, and how have you guys learned to adapt? It's something I like to ask all the artists, because they've watched this business change a great deal.
Yeah, no kidding. All you can do is roll with the punches. I feel like, progress progresses. It's inevitable. You can't stand in front of it. We were so scared of uh downloads, music downloads, and with Napster and Metallica fighting all of that. And I'm not saying Lars was wrong or anything like that, but it just needed time to figure itself out, and how we were going to catch up to making like songs be $1 or things
Yeah.
like that. Like, you would still pay for the material, the art, and give the artists their due, on this thing they spent their time, energy, and love on. Um, and I think even now it's still getting ironed out, days, day by day, weeks, months, years. Things are still changing to like, is this the right quota, with pay regiments and all of that with streaming, because it's still like it's crazy, fractions of a penny for this and that. But at the end of the day, the greatest thing is that everything's out there. You can have your music that you create in your bedroom and you don't have a label, you don't have anybody, and you can just put it online and anybody can find it. And that's cool. That is progress, and soon it's going to go to the next level of there'll be some other way to do it, and it'll be even more accessible with just, I don't know, talking about it, and it'll be there, and I mean we can already kind of do that with, smart devices and this and that. But yeah, I guess the point being, you just have to roll with it and figure it out, learn how to change your business, um, or your strategy and what you focus on, to, yeah, to just continue to get your art to those people that need it, and that it will help.
Yep, absolutely true. Basically what's happened is your fans have gone from being customers of a record company to customers of you guys,
Mm.
which is it's upsides and downsides. And so, and one of the things that customers like to do is work with companies that take good care of their employees, because then their employees will take good care of their customers. And well, I'm not going to call you an employee, and I'm not an employee. One of the things we're trying to do is make sure that most of the money goes to, it stays in the fans' pockets, it stays in the artist's pocket. And while I appreciate what he's done to make, as you just said, anybody can make music in their bedroom accessible, I don't ever want to see another Daniel Ek.
Hmm.
I don't think you should become a billionaire in somebody else's music.
Hmm.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
you know,
you're right. Yeah,
but
fully
we,
agree.
like you, benefits, healthcare benefits, like big companies do. And I do think we can give you a larger piece of the action. That's it's kind of the core of what Masters Radio is all about. Because I think that, and the fans are on our side. They want to support artists.
Oh,
Remember that I put a record out online, said, give us whatever you want. You can pay us for it. And damned if almost everybody paid the same $9 they would have paid if they'd gone to a record store and bought it.
hmm.
Because to them, that's just what the thing was. That's what you expected to pay. So they did.
Yeah.
So we're all about community and supporting the arts, and support, and you guys do the same. Who would you say, either these days or prior, are influencing you guys? I mean, we talked about philosophically, but musically, who's influencing you guys these days?
Sure. Yeah, early on, it was I started playing guitar, through the likes of Metallica and Incubus, and so went to school for classical guitar and fell in love with Muse for sure. I mean, they're all of those are still great bands and they're still at it today. Newer guys, gosh, what am I loving that's new? I gotta like look at my phone and see. What am I listening to right now? Oh, I love the Scottish metal band Bleed From Within. Their riffs are awesome. It super powerful, really cool. Uh I still love, Kill Switch's message, and love that they're still on positivity through all of that. Um and I mean there's, this is just what's in my library right now that I'm looking at. Oh, the band Dead Poet Society, they're really cool. And making some cool sounds with their fretless guitars and whatnot. But I love, probably my favorite band is Thrice, and just their lyrical outreach. Dustin's so well read, and I, maybe coming from a similar spiritual place uh, as he was, I just connect with a lot of his lyrics and what he references, or the imagery he creates. I'm just such a big fan of theirs and their music and their lyrics.
How is the lyric process within Nothing More? Does people bring in their own songs? Does Johnny do most of it? How does it lay out?
Yeah, it's different every time, but it is a collaborative effort for sure. Sometimes, the song Fade In, Fade Out is about my father and my son, and just kind of the whole Phoenix aspect of the cyclical nature of passing down of the torch, etc. But yeah, sometimes they can be personal like that. Sometimes they can be more philosophical or spiritual or more grounded. And it's just stuff we talk about and that rings a bell, trying to find a focal point, as we find a title or if somebody has a lyric and then it just feeds off of that. Or sometimes, I'll have almost whole songs or Johnny will, and we'll go from there and just try and polish. We definitely believe in the collaborative effort of things, and more minds are better, even though it maybe can be frustrating with more than one cook in the kitchen at times. The product ends up being something we're all stoked about. Yeah.
Clearly so, because your fans have often talked about the emotional connection that they make with your songs, and I presume that's mostly in the lyrics. Um, when you hear, do you hear stories like that from fans when you're out touring? Because you're out touring now. I miss you. You were close by, and so sort of close by in Norfolk, Virginia, back in April, I think. Uh,
Yeah.
you're heading to Europe, I think, soon. So when you see fans of varying, well, diversities, probably the right word for it, um, who are all moved by your music, what does that do for you guys?
It's awesome. I mean, for me, that's definitely a big reason of why, I do this or commit this much time to this. I know that I feel like this is my calling. This is what I was always supposed to do. But I'm also a family man, I'm married and my son's 12 now, and I miss a lot, being gone. So it has to be something that's worthy of my time, and to hear these stories and how our band has helped people, that makes it worth it. It really does. And to know that I'm putting good out into the world and spreading love, that's a big part of it for me.
Do you mostly see that your fans are growing up with you, or are you seeing new people coming in at the shows?
Honestly, it's definitely a mix and match for sure. I'd say both,
Good.
which is cool.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what's next? What can fans look forward to in the coming months?
Yeah. We're out with Disturbed right now, and we have like a week and a half left of this tour, that we're excited about, just on the West Coast, in Boise tonight for a show here. And we'll go to Europe, all in June, and do a bunch of festivals there. It's always great just being over there, embracing the culture, and seeing the passion of all those people. Really is a different world. Just because a band is bigger, is big over here in the States or something, doesn't necessarily mean they're big over there, or vice versa, and it's like, wow, just, I don't know, seeing what works over there and what goes off is amazing. Really, really cool and different. So that'll be great. And then we have a few festivals in July in the States that we'll do: Incarceration, Rock Fest. And then we're off until later in the year, but we haven't announced anything, so I can't say what we're doing, but
Yeah.
we're doing stuff.
Carnival's got lots of legs left on it, but I suspect somewhere down the line another record coming. And
That is correct. Yeah, we are working on it. We have a good pool of material already for sure.
yeah, that's always a good thing to do. That way you can just pick and choose what's going to work the best. So,
Definitely. Yeah, well said.
what have we not spoken about that you want your audience to hear?
Um, well, um, yeah, just excited about Free Fall. We're gonna start pushing that song to radio, and do another big push for Canines for Warriors. I'm really psyched about that. Again, spreading that organization and how you can help and be a part of it. Check it out on our website for sure. Buy a merch bundle, and all the proceeds go to them. and helping them pair a service dog with those that need it and a station dog. Um, and yeah, I suppose that's it. You know, again, thanks so much for having me, Adam. Appreciate it.
It has been a pleasure. We are with Mark from Vollelunga. I got that right?
There you go. Nice.
Yeah, so, and because I struggle with Mark sometimes. So,
Nice. Too funny.
to be with you. And there will be in the page that you look at this video on in the show notes, links to what Mark was just talking about to support Canines for Warriors. It has been a pleasure speaking with you. And thank you so much. Good luck on the road. Good luck with your family, and wish you lots of success from your friends here at Masters Radio.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it, Adam. Take care.